Hello there, and welcome to I'm Sounding English. Hello, my name is Pip, and I've designed resources to improve pronunciation while maintaining fluency so that you are on the way to improving your English and getting you better understood. This is the 10th in a series about how to improve pronunciation naturally when acquiring a second language by focusing this time on building up pressure. In the last video, I explained chunking caused by the use of the onset and tonic syllables. This time, I will draw attention to building up pressure to produce more natural contrast in syllable pronunciation. I will focus on the stops that build up pressure and create greater contrast in stressed and unstressed syllables and clearer chunking, and how this can be applied to regular topics using my pronunciation training videos, and hopefully how your students can apply it to their conversations on the same topic.
We are now moving sweetly along the suprasegmental features. We looked at vowels, looked at word stress and the phrases. We looked closer the last time to rhythm and chunking, and we looked at schwa as well and sentence chunking. We're not going to look at intonation as such yet or connected speech. We're going to look at something else which is quite useful called pressure. We're looking at building up pressure in certain syllables to create a larger contrast. What do I mean by that? Well, if we look at this table of all the possible consonant, sounds that are made, you can see that we got two lines. One is about place and the other one is about manner. So if we look across the top, we've got bilabial, which talks about how the lips are placed as such to create certain sounds like the p, b, m, w. Then we've got the labiodental, which is where the top teeth connect with the bottom lip. So we can see in the f, the v sounds. Moving on, we got the interdental. This is where it's between the teeth itself. So we got like th and the. So you can see the tongue popping out there. Moving along, we've got the alveolar. Now, alveolar is where the tongue tip on or near the top teeth, and it's used for things like the t, d, s, the, n, and l. So you can, once you say it and close your eyes and try to say it, you can see where the tip of the tongue is actually working. Then you got the palatal or palatal, and this is where the tongue blade, with the tongue blade or the body near the roof of the mouth, it provides sounds like the sh or the y. So you can feel it's the tongue blade near the roof of the body of the mouth. And then after that, you've got the velar, where the tongue body is more to the back and to the mouth's roof, such as g, k, and m. And then we got the final one, the glottal. And the glottal basically refers to not much sound produced, but it's the air passing through the windpipe itself, like the ha sound. It's right at the back. So that's the place. But we've also got to consider the manner, which is how the sound's made. And so we've got the stop, or it's also called the plosive. This is where the airflow is stopped or being blocked. And that's what we're going to focus on today. You've got the fricative, which is the air is restricted. It's not stopped, it's restricted by a narrow passage. And then after that, you've got the affricative, where the sounds are made through a combination of a stop and a fricative. So for example, the ch sound or the j sound. After that, we've got the nasal. These sounds occur when the oral passage is closed and the air flows through the nasal cavity instead, like the sounds. And then after that, you've got the approximates, such as the glide and liquids, and the rhotic as well. And this is where air flows freely through around the tongue. But we're going to look, as I said, we're going to look at the stops. Now, you've got the bilabial, as I said before, the p and the b. Okay, so you can feel the s, there the pressure builds up and the lips stop the air coming out and then you release it. So that's the p, b. Then we've got the alveolar. So the alveolar is where the tongue at the tip stops the sound t and the d. And then the final one is the velar. This is where the tongue body at the back stops the airflow coming out. So it builds up pressure, the k and the g. All right, and then there's a h as well. So that's what we're looking at today, and seeing how this building pressure changes the actual contrast in the syllable. So to focus on this, obviously we looked at the ideas about how syllables are contrasted. We look at duration, like computer, intensity, the loudness, computer, and the pitch as well. So we looked at this before, the computer. We also said it's hard to focus on all three, so try to focus on one. And we'd work on contrast. And we looked at the schwa as well, because this creates an even greater contrast because you're weakening certain sounds like teacher, mother, and about. But what we're going to do today is building up the pressure of the stops, building up the pressure. So we looked at chunking reduction as well. And so now if we go back to this, try to say this. Okay. Now I will say it. I pretend to try and produce good and grammatically correct dialogues with my partner in class, but it's boring. So what you find is when you're speaking, you can find, for example, I pretend. You can feel before you get to the tend, there's a build up in pressure because you're breathing. I pretend to try and produce. You can start to feel the pressure because the beginning, it stops the air to flow, so you're building up more pressure when you speak, and therefore it creates a longer duration. Produce good and grammatically correct dialogues with my part. So you can see there's a build up of pressure because of the lips or the teeth, the tongue stopping the airflow. So repeat the sounds. What do you notice? Let's try this one. Here we go. So remember the purpose of those points. Okay. I put the bag there. I took the dog out. I could have gone. I could have gone. So you can see there's a definite pressure being put up. So I put the bag there. So you can see that the contrast. I put the. So the put, then the becomes weak, and then it's pressure on the bag. I put the bag there. I took the dog out, and I could have gone. So you're finding that there's build up pressure and then relaxation in the back of the throat. That's what we're trying to get students to try to copy in their own examples. And one way you can try to improve this is to work on tongue twisters. Okay, so there's the famous ones like Peter. I'm actually not very good at this. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Or Betty bought some bread and butter. You can say it faster and repeat it over and over again. Betty bought some bread and butter. Betty bought some bread and butter. Betty bought some bread and butter. So try to say it 3 times as fast as you can. Taking 2 tickets to target the talented teacher. Taking 2 teachers to target the talented teacher. Taking 2 teachers to target the talented teacher. But you can see that by working on these tongue twisters, you're learning stress, relax, stress, relax, stress, relax. Donna's dinner was deadly and dangerous. Donna's dinner was deadly and dangerous. Donna's dinner was deadly and dangerous. Yeah, I can't do it myself. But you can see there's practice as a result. Can you canna as a canna can? Can you canna as a canna can? Okay, so you've got your flow and you can get to it. Go and get a gorgeous gift from Gordon's engagement. Go and get a gorgeous gift for Gordon's engagement. Go and get a gorgeous gift for Gordon's engagement. See, it's a challenge, but there you go. No one's perfect. You can also get students to work on particular stop sounds and make their own sentences using it as best they can. But from that, you'll start to get them, the students that is, to work on building up the pressure and relaxing going along. Now, as you know, I've got the worksheets, so you can focus on that as well. But even with the worksheets themselves, you can get them to focus on it, yeah? I wanted to study abroad. I wanted to study abroad on an English program. I wanted to study abroad on an English program while at university. I wanted to study on an English program while at university. I wanted to take business studies. Okay? The university I go. The university I go to has a good recording for finding jobs for the graduates. It has a really good reputation and will help me get a foot in the door as an IT consultant. So there we are. We can see the build-up pressures there. But have a look, choose a topic with your students and see if you can find the examples on either the phrases, or you could even find the longer speeches as well in the Chunky and Fast part 2. Okay, there's plenty out there. Cool. So that's it. Okay, remember to explore and have fun. We are aiming to get you better understood. Keep working at it. And if you've got any questions, just email me. Well, thank you very much. Keep going.